Okay, no, it's recording already. So I think we can start now. Okay, so welcome people to the OGX Synergy Refinement. So if you have seen our Q1 highlight for quarter one for MCZen, so you have seen the OGX Synergy Refinement. So yes, so now I just want to deliver this into the live education space. So later, if you have any question or maybe if you want to give you some insight, so it would be very great that if you can share it here. Okay. So for the table of content, so for first of all, we have a problem findings. So later I will see like what the problem behind this, like why I make something like this. And then second of all, introduction to synergy. And then third of all, important of synergy. And then number four is synergy mapping with the details and explanation, and then reporting process and execution time, and then frequently asked question or possibly asked question later on, and then call to action for LCs. Okay. So for the problem findings, let's jump into this section. So before we proceed, here are the findings of the current synergy of OGX. So here's what I found from O2O with one of LCPP OGX. So if you can see for the OGX for marketing, yes, everything is working in terms of the promotion, but in terms of back office is quite alarming because I see that OGX with TM, there's no synergy, and also education is done by themselves. It means that is quite alarming for me. And then second of all, for FNL, yes, I think it's quite warning, but it's still okay in the terms of measurement. And other than that, like actually, I asked about this into my LCPP, and he's quite blurry, and also he's quite confused, like what they have done. Like he cannot mention it like out of the box, like out of the brain already. And then second of all, for the problem, another finding is based from the worksheet that I see from your planning from OGV and also from OGX for LC Almaty and also OGV and OGT from LC Astana. So I see that this is the problem that I found. So based on this problem, so what's the problem behind this? So firstly, first of all, they are lacking of understanding of office synergy. Second of all, a lot of focus on synergy for promotional, for MKT especially, like not for sustainability nor talent. And then third of all, the synergy listed in SOP that I have made doesn't have a clear KPI, and yes, I admit it. And then fourth of all, some misalignment and perception of having synergy between departments, especially with LCP. And let's proceed to the synergy itself. And so just an introduction a little bit about synergy is all about the intermezzo for you all. So synergy is the combined power of a group of things when they are working together that is greater than the total power achieved by each working separately. So yes, if you are talking about the importance, I just highlight three main importance of the synergy. So first of all, to channel their positive energies together to realize the common vision and goals. This is that I have research and also based what I have experienced in my last experience. And then second of all, to generate better solution to problems occurred in the organization. Thirdly, to create better effect and result in the organization or business. This is like the three main importance of synergy in the organization, whether like you are in a company or maybe in an organization. So yes, without synergy, this thing might not happen, sadly. Yes. So for synergy mapping, so actually this is like what we have discussed, like between me and also between the MC team, between OGX and several department in the LC. So firstly, yes, OGX is the main department that I want to discuss. So first of all, we have PM. So for the synergies, first of all, is about the PA, like performance appraisal, implementation, like how many percentage that they have achieved their goal. Like for example, let's say like how many approved that for OGX, or maybe like um, how many like sales proposal that you have been done for BD, for example. And then second of all, the task fulfillment implementation. And then third of all, education cycle for OGX. And then fourth of all, PDP implementation. Five is EP induction. Then later I will explain to you. Second of all, FNL. For the synergies between OGX is budget management, like budget versus actual. And then second of all, documentation of legalities. Thirdly, cash flow management. And fourth, about the EP goal setting to achieve sustainability. Later, I will explain more about it. And for MKT, it's the synergies, like firstly, promotional strategy. Second, marketing funnel reporting, like from sign up to offline, and marketing funnel way forward designing with your OGX and MKT. And then third of all is content management. Fifth, the fourth of all, BD. Meanwhile, like even though it's quite a little bit, but this is like what I can find between OGX and BD. First of all, is stakeholder sales management for it, especially for university relation. Then second, event management with promotional purposes. Lastly, LCP with synergies external representative and product development plan. Cool. So for synergy mapping between OGX and TM, so for the synergies, I can say I have mentioned to you about the PA, task fulfillment, education cycle, PDP, and EP induction. So for the KPI, if you can see like number of PA implemented into the members and also team leader and even for LCDP itself. Second of all, number of tasks implement and fulfilled by each layers, and then number of educational skills. And then fourth of all, about O2O executed. So for PDP implementation, yes, it might happen in the O2O. And then five of all is like from EP induction is like how many percent of EP satisfied with TM, like with the induction from the TM between OGX and TM as well. And for the MOS or measurement of success, it's like 100% of PA implemented to each layer, to team leader and also team member, and also 100% of implemented and fulfilled by each layer, and 100% of education dot scale to each layer, and also and other things in the 4 or 5. And again, for MOS or measurement of success, depends on the LC ultimate goal. So for the LCP or LCVP, you need to clear like how many percent that what is your measurement of success, maybe like 80% or 90% based on the current situation that you have in your LC. So let's go to the how. So for how, for the TM, so how to implement your PA or performance appraisal. So firstly, identify what's the ultimate goal for your OGX department. So for example, about number of group or number of complete to each layer member, maybe like from members, team leader, and also LCVP itself. And then identify the talent capacity, whether quality and quantity from each team leader and team member, either they can achieve or not. Like you need to know the talent capacity, whether this member is will be overachieving based on their capacity and also their competencies. Thirdly, discuss how many goals based on the KPI you set. For example, how many approved or complete you want to set in one term, and then set each number for the KPIs you have identified as an ultimate goal. And then fifth of all, distribute the number of to the each team leader and team member based on their talent capacity. You can make a distribute it equally, whether like you want to distribute it equally or you want to distribute it based on their capacity or based on their competency. So second of all, so how to implement your task fulfillment. Again, identify what TA have you set to the each team leader and team member, and what goals you have set to them, like in terms of the numbers. This, for example, for OGX and TM. Second of all, identify what tasks they have to do to fulfill the goal from the PA itself. Like for example, approve and also completed based on their position and JD. Maybe like maybe you need to distribute and you need to think about distribution of the numbers based on their position and also based on their capacity, and then set and distribute the task to the team leader and team member and give them the objective of doing it. Yes, sometimes they don't do that because of no clear objective given to them. Like for example, okay, this is the task for you, but then you didn't give them like what's the reason behind. So maybe they are lacking purpose on it, and maybe they don't do it because I did because I felt this the same when I was a team member. And fourth of all, remember the task should be aligned with the capacity of each of them. So for another one, which is education, for implementing your education between OGX and TM. Firstly, identify what education is suitable for your team leader and also team member to achieve the goal, maybe like their personal goal or maybe department goal. And then second of all, identify the timeline of the OGX operation and decide what would you do in each timeline. So for example, let's say in the customer flow, like attraction, what you want to educate your TL or TM. So for this, timeline is very important for you to know what you are in right now based on the customer flow, whether attraction, consideration, or experience, and what kind of education that you will be doing, and maybe what the education that you will downscale into team member and also team leader to build their ability to do it. Thirdly, discuss and decide what education you want to implement based on the timeline and your team leader and the team member needs. Again, maybe after you identify the timeline, yes, maybe you think about several educations, but again, maybe you can discuss or maybe decide what education you want to implement if let's say they don't need it or maybe they need it. maybe like you can give a little bit like you push it, or maybe you can delegate it. It's up to you. Then fourth of all, the suggestion, give them a small call to action or practical experience to strengthen their knowledge from the education you have done skill. Again, so after you have education, make sure you give them like action space or call to action to make sure they can implement the education, and let them like do not waste the education as well. And then how another one, which is implement your PDP for OGX. Yes, set your O2O time with your team leader for LCDP, and to team member for TL. So again, like O2O, like team leader with LCDPs, and also team member with TL with their TL. And then second of all, prepare your PDP tool for both your team leader and team member. And then third of all, fulfill all of the element in the PDP. So again, maybe you have like the template already for the PDP, or if you don't, maybe you can ask your LCDP TM or maybe MCDP TM for that, because they have already, they have to have it already. And for TM, collect all of the PDP from the team leader and team member. Second, identify what they want to achieve in terms of personal and organizational. So in the PDP form, you may see like what is their personal goal, or maybe like organizational goal that they want to see. And then second, third, sorry, important, like in PDP, if you see one of your team member or team leader is a potential or wants to apply in higher position, make sure you have an action plan for a succession planning. This is important because this team member or team leader, they might be potential for next LDVPs, or maybe next team leader, or even they are very potential for LCP. So for OGX TM again, for EP induction, firstly, conduct EP induction. First, conduct a synergy call with OGX to identify the EP's need and what the message TM should address to the EP. So in the EP induction, maybe like for the like OPS or maybe kind of stuff. Yes. So you need TM needs to understand what they need to deliver to the EP before they go abroad, or maybe like do some the projects. Second, make sure the elements for induction are addressed well to the EP in the OPS. Thirdly, prepare the presentation for the EP during the induction with several address message. Okay, let's go to the FNL. So for synergies, again, this is the main four synergies with this KPI. For the firstly is like number of money budget reviewed and also set between OGX and FNL. And second, documents recorded and archived. Thirdly, now for the cash flow recorded, and then four is EP consolidated for one term. So for EP, number of EP, yes, FNL needs to play a role as well to make sure they can address how much the money that they need to sustain. So later I will explain it more. Again, for the MOS, it's like 100% budget reviewed, 100% documents recorded and archived, 100% of cash flows, and then 100% of EP consolidate. But again, it depends on the LC ultimate goal again, maybe like 80%, 70%, even 19 or 100 based on your LC situation, or maybe like based on your ambition as well. For the LCPE, you need to take note on this. So for synergy mapping for OGX between OGX and FNL. So firstly, how to implement the budget management with OGX. Firstly, identify how much budget do you have in your LC for OGX operation to cover the potential costs you will be having during the LC term through the forecasting or reviewing for the past term. So for the budget management, yes, you need to identify how much budget you have in your LC, and also how much the budget that you want to distribute for the OGX operation. So for FNL, second for FNL, set up a finance tracking tool to ensure an accountability in your LC, especially for your synergy between OGX and FNL. And thirdly, identify what type of cost, maybe like direct cost or indirect cost for your operation and in OGX, and put them into the tool. Sorry, I put into the file. Sorry. And then fourthly, put the amount of the budget you will be putting into, and make sure you track the amount monthly. Yes, for the budget management, you need to track it monthly or maybe weekly or maybe bi-weekly based on the things that you are going to do with your OGX and FNL. But I suggest it monthly. And then how to implement the documentation for legalities. Firstly, ensure your department, whether OGX and FNL, does have a folder that you share together for documentation archiving. Yes, for this one, I can say that ECB has this already. So you need to ask the ECB for this documentation, because this is one of the elements for auditing. Second, put all of the documents, for example, EP contract, receipt, and all other things into one folder. Like we suggest you to put it into our national folder to ensure ECB can audit them. Again, so for the documents, it's like ECB needs to know to make like because they will be doing an auditing for their like to report it into ICB. Thirdly, suggestion. We suggest you to make a documentation tracking tool to ensure you can track each document you have put into the national folder. Yes, sometimes it's very hard to open the folder and check a specific folder if it's too many. So, okay, I want to open this folder and then I need to go there. And then I want to go this folder and I need to go there. So it takes a lot of time. But if you have the tracker, like you put in the link into that, it would be it would make it easier for you. So for another one, like how to implement the cash flow management. So firstly, make sure you have figured out your budget versus actual with your OGX team, ensuring the budget is already done and recorded. Second, record everything from any expenses you spend for OGX operation and the revenue that you receive from any exchanges or like any product, maybe like OGV, OGTA, OGTE. And just take a note, if surplus, if you think that the cash flow is surplus, it means that you have a lot of profits, revenue is bigger than cost. Congrats, you did it pretty well for your assistant sustainability. And if let's say your LC is having a deficit or cost is bigger than revenue, immediately you have to make a profit strategy with OGX team. For example, let's say maybe how to say like matching money for OGV or maybe kind of stuff. So for FNL, you need to think about the profit strategy with the OGX team based on the situation that you can capitalize on. Fourth, how to set the AP goal with FNL as a synergy. Firstly, identify how much money do you have in your LC account and how much the ultimate goal that your LC has for the money from the exchanges. And for this, yes, you need to ask LCP about this too, because LCP is also determining how many goals for the OGX, like how many approved or maybe how many completes that LC needs to have. And then second, for FNL, after you have identified it from LCP, you need to discuss how much money you are going to have monthly and distribute it each month based on OGX team capacity and also operational timeline. And then thirdly, for FNL, put the numbers into your LC finance tracking tool to track the result. And yes, about the goal versus actual. So if let's say you have a finance tracking tool, congratulations, you did it well. But if not, maybe you can make it right now, or you can share it. For example, let's say if LC Astana or LC Almaty does have, and then one LC doesn't have it, so you can share it to each other for the GCP as well. Okay, let's go to the MKT. So for MKT, there are three main synergies that you can do. So firstly, promotional strategy. Second, marketing funnel reporting. And then third is content management. So for the KPI, firstly, promotion plan execute. Second, report and solution delivered. And then third is content promote and delivered with the MOS with all 100% like promotion plan, report and solution delivered, and content promote and delivered. So for the how to implement your promotion strategy, first, identify what is your promotion strategy for your OGX product. What is the objective? What is the ultimate outcome? So yes, for the promotion strategy, you need to understand what will be your promotional strategy for OGX product. What is the objective behind? Or maybe what is the ultimate outcome? So for example, let's say maybe info sessions, and then promotional flyers. Maybe for like let's say for info session, maybe you have a different objective, or maybe like you have like different approach to the potential customers, or maybe for promotional flyers. So for promotional flyers, you need to understand what it should include in the promotional flyers. Let's say maybe like a product or maybe the countries. So you need to understand what you will be delivering into the customers and also the key message. So for the discuss and plan with your OGX team for each promotional strategy. If promotional flyers, how much you will spend for them, and what is the ROI, return on investment, you are expecting. And also this is FNL needed, because if you are talking about promotional flyers, means that you are spending money. When you are spending money, means you need to discuss with the FNL because they have like obligation to in terms of the finance and legalities. And in info sessions, what agenda you will be delivering to the customers. Again, like you need to understand like what agenda, what kind of key activities, like let's say if you will be having like a first approval there for GV or like kind of stuff. So, secondly, sorry, how to implement your marketing funnel reporting and way forward designing. So first, identify the existing data from regarding sign up to apply. You can take it from expa, from the performance, and then funnel, and check the conversion rate from it. Second, find out the problem and or bottleneck that you find from this data. You may reflect from what you have been done related to the customer journey or promotion from the or the exchange product. Again, find out the problem and bottleneck because it's very important for you to know your way forward. Then after you find out the problem or bottleneck, suggest some way forward and solution to tackle the problem or bottleneck for better performance. Again, for the second, yes, MC will give you a recommendation tool for reporting, or maybe like recommendation like how do you do the reporting in your LC? Maybe like it's different or maybe it's the same. I don't know. Like, but MC still give you recommendation. And then how to implement the content management. So firstly, make sure you have your content management plan by creating a content calendar for your LC to make the content tracking and posting time easier. Second, identify and discuss what content you will be delivering for the customer in the social media regarding your exchange product. Like, please take note on your key message, value proposition of the product, and especially the contents need to align with the blue book. So yes, for the content, it's very important for you to know your key message, value proposition, and also the contents need to align with the blue book. Like, for example, about the color of the logo and then how to put the post, like how to say, like logo positioning, whether it's right or not. Thirdly, make sure you have a contact person, whether in your post or your social media description, like for example, Instagram at the profile. Like for this one, this is like this tactic can be localized into your LC. So with the BD, I know that maybe like there's a LSTPR, but yes, I can give you a little bit insight for the BD. So for synergies again, like stakeholder sales management and then event management with the KPI stakeholders close the deal. Like close the deal means that they want to have a partnership, like maybe like a partnership in terms of university relation with your with Isaac. And then second, event execute for OGX promotion with this MOS as well, like 100 based on the KPI for the MOS is like keep 100%, but it depends on your else. Okay, so for BD, how to take care of your sales management for stakeholders, maybe university. Firstly, make sure you have identified which stakeholders, like which university that you want to penetrate or maybe you want to over, and then why it should happen. Maybe like you can forecast the potential of that market, or maybe it's close to your LC. Maybe you can have a little bit forecasting, or maybe like the planning, like which university that you want to tap in before you do like sales and marketing. Second, discuss and prepare your sales strategy for your product, like for OGX, like for example, a possession, a physical book, and other things. Meanwhile, the BD will prepare the sales proposal for the university, and maybe I see that there's a LSTPR. Maybe BD will be taking care of the LSTPR. Like later, you can give me insight as well. And then secondly, how to implement your OGX synergy into infant management of BD. Like okay, so firstly, ensure there's an action plan for the synergy between OGX and BD to provide an enough agenda for OGX promotion in BD projects, like for example DLD or maybe top talent, and maybe like maybe we have like maybe this event is already passed, but let's say if we can do it in the future, and this is also my bet that I didn't have a plan for this before for this previous DLD and also top talent. I'm sorry. Second, for OGX, prepare your presentation for the attendees to promote your exchange product, and please take note on your key message, value proposition of the product to ensure the value is well delivered. And if needed, promote your IR partners to the attendees to ensure the contribution of E2E partnership. Yes. So for OGX, make sure you already know like what IR partners that you want to deliver, and later and also like later in the BD project, like when you have the agenda, you can deliver it very well. So for OGX and LCP, for the synergies, firstly, external representative, and this is non-KPI. So this is like there's no clear, tangible, or maybe a clear or tangible things that you can measure. But for product development plan, yes, there would be a KPI and MOS for that. So firstly, a product development plan, and then so 100% product development plan for MOS. So for OGX and LCP, so how to implement LCP as external representative of OGX? Yes, if let's say if there's an event, make sure when you are invited into an event, you are well prepared to deliver what are our exchange product, especially the value proposition of the product itself. So if let's say you have an event, and then if an unfavorable situation, make sure you as LCP keep the image of your own LC and represent on the involved stakeholder for any way forward to solve the problem. Yes, for LCP, maybe like if let's say you are invited to the event, or maybe there's a bad news, or maybe like a situation in unfavorable for your LC. So make sure you keep the image for the LC, and make sure you and make sure you can think like what you will be delivering into the involved in stakeholders, maybe the EP or maybe the host entity. So you need to see who you are going to face. And then for implement the product development management as LCP. So as an LCP, make sure you have a clear picture of your ultimate goal for each exchange product, like how many goals, how much the financial goal for your LC. Secondly, as an LCP, at least you have a clear picture of your LC direction for your sub products, like synergy with LCPP OGX, including strategy and tactics. Yes. So for this one, yes, at least you have a clear picture of your LC direction for your product. Maybe like what kind of strategy or tactics. Like say, maybe I want to have like how many times for go exchanges, or maybe how many times of info sessions. You need to understand like what you will be doing to boost your product. Like maybe like another physical event, like info session, physical booth. Like you need to like make sure you have a little bit clear picture on that. Okay. So for here, are we clear? Are we good to go to the reporting process? Are we good to go?
Yes, it's clear.
Right. Okay. So for for reporting process, here you can check the suggested way of reporting for the synergies. So for reporting process like OGX and TM. Okay. So for the again with this KPI and also this MOS. So for TM, the question in the reporting process, this is like the way of an MC should align, like should do. Question is what is your current situation of the PA performance appraisal, any context of it? Wait. Okay. Second of all, how many tasks that have been executed by the LGVP, team leader, and team member? If not all, why is happening? Thirdly, what is the OGX timeline right now? And what is education that seems fit to each customer flow? And then number 4, in the O2O, have you tracked the PDP of your TL or member, or any potential you have in advance? So for a reporting process, I can give you the reporting process for, let's say, for weekly meeting, or maybe like EBMT, or maybe EBM. Okay, so this is this is like the table that you can do, like with the name of the let's say the name for your for the members or team leader, and also position, and then PA, task, contact, and way forward. Yes, maybe this is blank. Maybe you think that like maybe you are confused, but I have the example already. Yes, so let's see the case first. Case, okay, Elizabeth is the team leader of OGV. She needs to achieve 6 approved in a month, and she distribute the approved to her member already, and she has to execute 10 tasks to make the 6 approved happen. But Elizabeth has achieved 2 approved in a week, then she has executed 6 tasks out of 10. In reality, she is proactive TL that keeps empowering her members and gives support to her members, but she is lacking of time due to her academic stuff. So this is the reporting should be. Let's say name Elizabeth, position TL, PA. I'm sorry, like if this is my mistake, like it should not 33.3. It should be another one, because this is my mistake. And then for tasks, yes, let's say like 6 tasks out of 10, maybe 60%. Then into the context, yes, maybe like she keeps empowering her member to give support to her member to achieve like this kind of approve. And then second, the member have competition mindset to help Elizabeth to get to approve in this week. Then she has a weak time management due to her academic timeline. So for the way forward, for example, educate Elizabeth for her time management, and then define a promotion strategy for an efficient way to get approved. So based on this is only the example. But let's say if you have any way forward, or maybe you have any solution, you can propose it. But this is only the example. So for FNL, let's jump into the question, because KPI and MOS I have explained it. So for question like how much the budget we have in our LC and how much we can invest for OGX operation. Then how many documents that we have right now, EP contracts and invoice, like how do we have a tracking tool for it. Then thirdly, how much revenues we have received from the EP, and what costs have you covered for OGX operation. Then how many EPs that FNL set for LC sustainability, have you asked LCP about this. So the updates you can put in the meeting. So let's say about the finance tracking tool from your LC, like you can showcase in the slides later on, like including how much budget and how much money you have used, like actual. And then second, document tracking tools from your LC, like make sure it's updated once OGX has another EP contracts or invoice. And then finance standard in your LC, like might be necessary, but you can report it to ensure an accountability between the department. Yes. So for finance standard, this is quite crucial because for finance standard, this is like already a minimum for the entity or maybe the LC needs to do like for the finance standards with the 6 finance standards. Then for MKT, for the questions, first, what are your promotion plans for each exchange products? What is the key message you are going to deliver to the customer? Like what second, what is our current situation of our marketing or sales funnel right now? What is the bottleneck of sign up to apply? What's happening? What we have done? And then thirdly, what are the contents you are going to deliver? Are you following the global campaign or do you have a local initiative? Like for example, a DLD or top talent? And then if yes, what is the value proposition and key message for it? And then are those contents aligned with the blue book? Okay. So for local initiative, it shouldn't be a DLD and top talent. Sorry. I'm sorry. So for content, just maybe like local initiative, let's say you have like local campaign for getting more approved or maybe more applied for OGV, for example, or maybe OGTA or OGTE. So make sure when you deliver the prod, like deliver them, make sure you know the value proposition, the key message, and also the blue book, like based on the blue book. So this is like the example for the MKT. So if you can see like highlight data, like how many sign ups, how many applied, and then context like what was happening, what have you done in this first semester, and then for way forward, like any suggested way forward for your synergy between MKT and OGX. For example, it's nurturing. Like for example, like a way forward. So this is like the example. For this is only example. Let's say for the product funnel from sign up to apply. If you can see like sign up is 1,748. Meanwhile, the apply is only 132, which is like let's say it's 15%. So based on the context, let's say like what was happening, maybe like you are lacking of content management, maybe you are lacking of content that you post in social media, or maybe like you are not maybe like there's lack of attendance in your info session or maybe go exchanges. It's like the context and also the way forward what for it. So for the execution time, like when you have to execute them, ideally, like when the synergy needs to happen. So okay, so this is like the monthly routine for each LC. This I took from MCPPTM's tool. Like this is like the monthly routine for your LC, and based on this routine, I adapt it into the several execution. So first, for OGX and TM, maybe like when you are doing planning, like you do LC planning and also monthly and quarter review and also LC replanning. Maybe you have like LC planning and also replanning. You need to have like this execution, like you need to discuss it as well. And for reviewing, for example, like when you need to review is when you have an EBM department meeting or maybe TL and TM like department meeting or maybe like TL TM meeting like for OGX only, and also for synergy meeting if applicable. And don't worry for the execution time, you can customize by yourself, like which like maybe this is suitable or maybe you have another one or maybe you think that you need to eliminate one. It's up to you, because like for execution time, it's like all about like suggestion from MC, but yes, you need to have this kind of synergy, like you need to discuss about the synergy. So for OGX, for FNL, for the planning, it's like LC planning, monthly quarter review, LC planning, and also LC budgeting. And then reviewing is like EBM, synergy meeting, and documents reporting. Like for yellow is applicable. And then for MKT, it's like LC planning, and then monthly quarter review, and then LC planning. For reviewing, like EBM, department meeting, TLTM, and also synergy meeting, like okay, so for department meeting and TLTM for OGX and MKT is for OGX only if applicable for tasks. So for example, let's say maybe with OGX and MKT, maybe how to say like lead nurturing, like email, like blasting emails, for example. Like you need to think like what kind of the tasks that you the OGX can deliver. Like that depends on the synergy that needs to happen with MSS. Then for BD, yes, for the planning, this applicable again. So for the LC planning and then monthly and quarter review and also the LCD planning, and if applicable for green, again for and then reviewing again in the EBM department meeting, TLTM and also synergy meeting. Like for orange, it's like OGX only. It's applicable for the task. Like if there's some task that you need to do with your OGX team, like from BD, so you need to like the already delegated or maybe like yes, so delegated, so you need to put it as well. Then OGX and LCP. So for the planning, yes, firstly is like LC planning, what you need to plan for the product development plan, and then for monthly and quarter review and also LC replanning, and reviewing should be in EBM and also synergy meeting. So is it cool already? Can we continue? Or need some time to break? Are we cool to go? Or you have any question?
So thank you, Ivan, first of all, for your suggestions for your presentation. Yes, I understand that those suggestions are really cool. Some of them are already in process. Maybe we have thought about them, but didn't really write them down. But how to say, we should overthink them right now, like to start to implement them, or it is an opportunity for the next board, for the elected board, or it's like for currents to work.
Okay, maybe
or
for this,
like the both, like transitional part.
Okay, later I will tell you, like maybe okay, for this question I can actually I have the answer for this already. So let's go to the FAQ later on. So okay, so for the call to action, yes. So first of all, read and understand all of the stuff in this refinement slides. Second, discuss with your EB team for the synergy planning, especially for the next term. Again, Akejan, yes. So for this synergy refinement, it's recommended for you to plan it right now for the next term. So that's why this synergy refinement is very important, and this is a compulsory for you to put into the transition with the EB to EB. And then thirdly, make this synergy as your routine in your LC, whether weekly, monthly, and quarterly. And then fourthly, fulfill the synergy checklist to ensure the MC team can track your synergy, will be explained below. And then contact your LCVP responsible if you have any question or queries. So for how to guideline, so actually this is like call to action for you for the synergy checklist. So yes, later on you can click here, like copy paste the tool into your respective LC folder, and you can find it here. Second, change the name from LC template, like to LC template to LC name. If you can see here, like it's still LC template, so you need to rename it, like for example LC Almaty or LC Astana. Second, make sure you read the instruction there. Like yes, make sure you're clear on what you are doing. Yeah, I also will tell it here. Don't worry. So forth, don't forget to change the name into your LC name. This one, and then if you have done that synergy, put 1. If no, put 0. The checklist is based on the how that I have explained it. Like you can take it here example. Like the checklist, like you can see here, is like based on this example. Later because this will be jumped. But it's later you can check it by yourself. So possibly ask question. So yes, firstly, is this necessary for us to do? For the answer, yes. Based on the problem that we find, we can say yes to ensure the synergy between OGX and department are well aligned. Second, we will be the one that fill the checklist. So after both department do the synergy, then OGX should be the one that fill it. And if we have another synergy between the department and then not mentioned above, let's say like OGX between OGX and TM, you think about another synergy. So yes, I can say yes, like you can do it, but you need to make sure you know the objective of doing it, and do let the MC team know this to make sure the MC team can align it too. Like MC team can align it too, and also make sure the accountability from the to the MCVP as well, to the MC team. Yes, if you have more questions, you can ask more. For Akejan, are you clear already? Any more questions?
Thank you, Juan. I want to just add that thank you very much for your analysis, especially as Akejan previously said, It's very well structured presentations with structured steps. Thank you very much for your time preparing this presentation, especially the synergy between OGX and TM. It's really in a red zone that we should do on in the previously in the future. I hope that yes, we can start to figure out this problem in this term and just make this so that we can really make sure that in the transition stage, the specific and responsible vice presidents will transfer this into the future executive boards. And since we didn't start to do it like by step, I didn't have any more detailed questions. Thank you. For this time, it's very well structured. Thank you, and it will be very good if you will send this presentation and make sure that our responsible vice presidents will see it. And of course, this recording. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, so for recording, I will share it through the YouTube already. Like I will upload it in YouTube channel or MC Team Kazakhstan. So you need to check it. Yes, this is not addressed only for LCPs, and this needs to be addressed to the EB team. And yes, for the recording, for the link, for the resources, I will share you after this webinar. Don't worry about it. So if you have so if you are still thinking more questions, please contact below, which is my name, like I saw is my WhatsApp number, and also my email. And yes, actually you can book my time for you to, if let's say you want to have like a self or functional coaching, or maybe you need to a little bit consultancy space for OGX. So yeah, this is not limited only for OGX. This can be for OG, can be TM, BD, MKT, FNL, and also LCP, even LCP. If you are talking about a consultancy for synergy. Second, if you need like a little bit functional coaching for only OGX, because this is my job already. Okay, so don't hesitate to book my time. I will share you, like I will. Okay, so this is like the synergy link, like this is like the Google link for the. Okay, so if you can see, like this is like book my time. So where's your LC, what's your position, and then what will be your choice for booking my time? Maybe like self or functional coaching for OGX, or maybe like for your maybe like I can help you for your department, but yes, for the final decision it will be to the MCDP, to the respective MCDP. And then synergy consultation space. So this is for all, for LCP and LCDP. And then what is your current struggles, and also what would you want to cover in our space, and also what would be your desired outcome after our space, and also the time booking. Yes, and also like there's not also like network output. This is for the feedback that you think if you want to put me a feedback, so you can do it. And yes, after you fill this Google form, you book my time. So make sure you inform me through my personal chat through WhatsApp, because like if let's say the worst case is I didn't see it. Okay, cool. Is it cool for you all? Is it cool for you all or no?
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So if you don't have any questions, so yes, later on I will put the output in the Google, sorry, in the WhatsApp. So I just stop recording.